What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, hosted the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. Shout out Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. For everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel. He'll make this show the best that it could be. Y'all see this picture right here, man? That's Luka Doncic right there. He's looking up to the skies like, man, get me out of here. Get me out of here, man. And see, this the thing, man. This the thing. Now, when the season resumes, starting today, I'm going to be focusing on the rest of these teams out here in the NBA. I will be doing that. Now, last night, the Los Angeles Lakers faced the Charlotte Hornets at home, right? This was a makeup game that they had to reschedule due to the wildfires in LA. And I really hope, the people that's impacted by those wildfires, man, I hope they recover, man. I really do wish the best for them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, like, what did Mike Tyson say? Back in the day, he say, everybody got a plan until they get hit. Until they get hit, man. And this is not about Luka Doncic, man. This is not about him, but they going to make it about him. It's not about him, but they going to make it about him. Now, what have they been saying since he was traded to the Lakers? I guess that would have been coming up on maybe 2 weeks ago or whatnot. They say, now, they've talked about him in such a negative fashion, him being out of condition and all this stuff, because they have to devalue who he really is. Because they're going to always make it seem like that the other guy, the Hurricane, is the one that's going to help out the player who they trade to play with him, when in all actuality, it's really the other way around. This has been a constant theme for well over a decade. So what I'm saying is, man, this is an MVP. Luka, for all practical purposes, is a top 3 player in the NBA. He led his team to the finals last year, right? He led the league in scoring last year. He's the reigning scoring champion. He averaged 34 points a game. He's one of only 2 players in NBA playoff history to average 30 points a game or more. Only Michael Jordan has a greater point per game average in the postseason than Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic led his team to the Western Conference Finals in 2022, right? With no other superstars on the team. Now, he did have Jalen Brunson, who was hot during that postseason, but at the time, Brunson was not seen as a superstar, right? While the other guy, he had an all-century squad. 5 top 75 greatest players ever. They didn't even make the play-in. But they going to tell you, the experts, the talking heads, going to tell you that Luka needs the Hurricane more than the Hurricane needs Luka. And this is a franchise who has traded for 3 superstar franchise players in the span of 6 years. Now, they're going to play up on the Lakers' past and tell you, well, the Lakers have always poached superstars from other teams. If you really look at it, though, let's really pull back the layers on it, man. This is why I ask all Laker fans, man, who have been led to support this guy on the team. Read back and really study the history of the franchise. Now, probably the first big time trade that the Lakers ever made was when they brought in Will Chamberlain in 1968. Right? But Will Chamberlain was technically past his prime, and he was brought in as a final piece. After all them years during the 60s, the 1960s, where Elgin Baylor and Jerry West led the way, leading the Lakers to the finals, but they just couldn't overcome the Celtics. That was the only thing. That was their main obstacle, but they was always a darn good team. Okay. They brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1975. 7 years after they brought in Wilt. They did trade for Kareem, but they traded Kareem as an investment for the future after the Elgin Baylors, the Jerry West, and the Will Chamberlains all retired. They didn't bring Kareem to stack the deck. They didn't mortgage the future to bring in Kareem. They didn't mortgage the future to bring in Wilt. Like I said, Wilt was the final piece after a decade of prominence led by Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. Okay. From the time that they brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, see, it's all, they playing up on the history in the worst way. From the time that they brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, their next big move outside of, drafting the Magic Johnsons and the Michael Coopers and the Norm Nixons and the James Worthies and the Kurt Ramises and the A.C. Greens and the Byron Scotts, because Showtime outside of Kareem was built through the draft. It was 21 years from the time that they traded for Kareem that they brought in Shaquille O'Neal as a free agent. Let me repeat that. It was 21 years from the time that they traded for Kareem in 1975 that they bring in Shaquille O'Neal as a free agent in 1996. But the Lakers, after starting over post-Showtime years, it took them about 3 seasons before they became playoff level once again through the draft. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, Anthony Pillar, George Lynch, and they had mainstays, veterans, Eldon Campbell and Vlade Divac, who they drafted the year after Kareem retired. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at, man, is that with this guy on the team, the Hurricane, everything has been misrepresented, turned upside down. It's unprecedented that a franchise has traded for 3 superstars in 6 years. Not sign a superstar, trade for, which includes giving up their own players, young talent, a boatload of draft picks. You're mortgaging against the future. And they'll tell you this is a great move. They always paint a perfect, they always make it seem like, man, it's going to be, it's going to be roses. Oh, man, Luka, he can be the next face of the franchise once LeBron leaves. It always sounds good. They said the same thing about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is gone. And I'm telling you, like, I'm not going to predict the future per se, but Luka Doncic, man, he is a Dallas Maverick at heart. And you can tell, man, he really don't want to be there. But because of the fact that he was traded for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into that. For whatever reason he was traded for, he's trying to adjust, but you can tell he's not happy being there, man. Then you got to take a back seat to a player who you're better than. Think about that. Luka is a better basketball player than LeBron James. He averaged more points last year. LeBron has never averaged 30. He's never averaged 34 points a game in the season. Luka averaged more rebounds and more assists and led his team to the finals. The Hurricanes, supposed to be the leader of the Lakers, got ousted in the first round. He got ousted in the first round in 2021. 2 times with this dude as the leader, they missed the playoffs. And the 1 year that they so-called won, they mortgaged away the farm to do it. So what I'm saying is, they're going to tell you that he's the leader, but since this dude has been on the team since 2019 season, he is 1 for 29 in go-ahead shots with less than 10 seconds to go in the game. And he missed 2 shots last night, 2 of them down the stretch. And that's why they wind up losing that game to Charlotte at the end. You know what I'm saying? To the Charlotte Hornets. A team that was 13-39 entering that game last night. Like I said, the gig has been up, man. It's been up. It's been up after the year of the bubble. It's been smoke and mirrors, man. And Luka got to take a back seat and then take all the heat from these toxic talking heads. He got to take all the heat for a situation, man. For a problem that he's not the root of. He's a better basketball player, man. He's more effective. He's definitely more clutch. But he got to take a back seat because the Hurricane don't want to take a back seat. He wants to continue this notion that he's on par with Michael Jordan, man. He's not. Not when you're shooting 1 for 29 and go ahead shot attempts with less than 10 seconds to go. He's hit one shot in such situation. I believe that was either in his first year on the team or his third year. He hasn't hit a shot in that circumstance since. But they gonna tell you that he's the GOAT. What are we doing, man? And I'm telling you, man, they banking on Luka gonna sign this extension. I tell you, man, I'm telling you, if he don't, like I said, I'm not predicting anything, man. They got to move on from the Hurricane, dog. They got to move on from. He's not going to lead them to a championship. It's not going to happen. You don't go from winning the bubble and then losing in the first round and missing the playoffs. That's not congruent of a real championship or consistently a high level championship caliber team, man. That's not even. It's not even a comparison. Like Boston may not repeat this year, the Boston Celtics, but I guarantee you, man, they gonna win. They gonna win their share of games, man, and you're gonna have to beat them to take the mantle. Denver playing great basketball as of late. They won the title 2 years ago. They didn't repeat last year. It's hard to repeat, but here they are, man. They in their rhythm again. That's a real championship contending team. But these talking heads, only reason they kick this out every year is because they're guys on the team. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real. And Luka, he's already being thrown under the bus. He's already being attacked in record time, man. In record time. He don't want to beat her, man. I'm telling you, he don't want to beat her. And like I said, I'm not attacking Luka. It's not about him at all. At the end of the day, they're going to move on from the Hurricane, man, and get control of their franchise back. And fans of this franchise, man, they got to understand the gig is up. Don't be asking for no more trades. Rob Pelinka has he's mortgaged the franchise off. He's done everything that they wanted. He attempted to bring in a center, a trade that was rescinded, where he gave up a draft pick going into next decade, 2031. There's nothing more this man can do. Stop begging and pushing pressure on this guy to make moves, because the Hurricane ain't going to lead this franchise nowhere outside of total oblivion. It's up. The gig been up, man. And I feel bad for Luka, man, because he's caught up in the matrix already. And they throwing all the aspersions his way. He's the late. All Luka is the new the new and improved scapegoat. That's all he is. But I just want to drop that real quick. Until next time, JB, BTB, behind the bench, and leave comments, thoughts, and post. I'll holler.